The Tashalan drifted wounded and wheezing on the edge of the Sol system, its hull scored by plasma fire, its FTL core dead, and its crew breathing filtered air so thin it bordered on ceremony. Inside the once proud Kiri vessel was a tomb with flickering lights. Captain Vale Thress stood rigid on a cracked command platform, three of his secondary hearts struggling to sync with the artificial pacing field strapped to his chest. The bridge smelled of melted insulation and recycled sweat. "We are out of options." His exo-rasp mandibles twitching. Thress didn't respond. He didn't need to. Everyone knew it. Every nearby relay station had ignored their distress calls. Every automated beacon gave the same cold response. Unauthorized vessel, no assistance available. No one answered ghosts, and the Cathar Union had made too many enemies to expect favors, except one system remained within range. "Open channel," F said, voice like cracking stone. The communications officer hesitated, then did as ordered. An old interspecies emergency frequency, a simple message broadcast into the void to any Sol-aligned vessel or listening station. "This is the T. Shallan Cathar Union Registry. We are damaged beyond field repair. FTL is down. Life support will fail in 17 standard hours. We request any assistance, please." A silence fell over the bridge. No one dared hope the Sol system was young, a developing backwater by galactic standards. Humanity was new to the stars, brash, unrefined, overly emotional, and what little intel the Union had gathered on them suggested an unpredictable culture. Still, Frisk waited. 1 minute passed, then 3, then 6. A dull sigh spread across the bridge. They would die here, not in battle, not in glory, but stranded in the gravity well of a barely charted star. And then, "Shallan, this is Sol, Emergency Fleet Command. We've received your signal." The voice cut through the static like a beam of clean light, clear calm. "Human," another voice followed. "Hang tight. Help is en route. ET. 4 minutes. 4C." The chief engineer choked. 4 minutes. Thress turned sharply. "Confirm that signal." The comms officer nodded, stunned. "It's real encryption checks, multiple vessels inbound outside the cracked viewing port." Space seemed to ripple. Then they appeared, sleek ships, not warcraft but rescue vessels, swept in with impossible coordination, tethers lashed onto the T. Shall energy beams stabilized its spin. A repair drone pierced the whole breach with surgical precision and began sealing before the Kiri could even track it. They weren't just fast, they were prepared. Boarding vessel on approach. Someone called, and then through the main corridor walked a human in a black exosuit helmet, off toolbox in hand. She smiled, not cautiously, not politically, but warmly, like she was helping a neighbor. "Hi," she said, "I'm Captain Monroe. Let's get you folks patched up." And just like that, the nightmare ended. No threats, no deals. Just help. The Cathari didn't understand it yet. But something in their world had just changed. Cole couldn't stop staring through the cracked viewport. A ballet of human vessels moved like a living organism. 5 rescue ships operated as one, executing maneuvers that would take a Kiri fleet hours of planning. They worked in silence and synchronicity, like they were performing for an audience of gods. But this wasn't a performance. This was normal for them. A drone glided past, spraying blue-gold weld foam over a ruptured section of the outer hull. Another lanced a thin fiber optic tether through the Chichelin's communications array, bypassing fried circuits every 5 seconds. A chime sounded over internal comms. Oxygen flow stabilized core temperature. Rising hull integrity at 67%. Therese watched from his command chair, jaw tight. "This can't be charity," he muttered. Select didn't answer. He was too busy watching the woman, Captain Monroe. The human commander had refused any protective escort. She walked alone through the dim corridors of the Tashalan helmet clipped to her belt exit, humming gently with every step. She'd already rerouted 2 collapsed cooling lines with a few copper strips and a piece of chewing gum. No joke. Then she grinned and said, "Still works better than half our Navy ships." Select didn't know what gum was, but it felt like sorcery. Now she was in the engineering bay, kneeling beside the shattered FTL housing. Her expression was focused, not fearful. She was unarmed, unafraid, unbothered. "I don't understand you," he said finally. Monroe glanced up, wiped a smear of grease from her cheek, and raised an eyebrow. "I've heard that one before." "Cathar language or Cathari logic? Both." She chuckled. Well, your warp core is a mess, but your impulse grid is beautiful. Someone took real pride in it. Select tilted his head. Confused pride insists. Why would that matter? Monroe set her tools down, her expression turned thoughtful because things that keep people alive deserve love, even if they're made of steel and wires, especially if they are that silenced him. A chime sounded. The Tishalan shook gently as one of the hum.